Present. Present.
I will make one note, I guess. Should I say it here? We will not be doing elections. Can I strike that from our agenda, or should I just do it at the later?
That's fine. You can just note.
Okay, just noted that we, due to the absence of Member Field Foster and due to my absence last month, we will once again be pushing off for elections since we're the only, three of us are the only three members at large. So we need three of us to be present in order to be eligible to be elected. So we will hope that we can do that at the April meeting. And other than that, I would move to approve tonight's agenda.
Support.
Okay, supported by Member DeShane. And this is a vote to approve tonight's agenda. Member Koenig?
Yes.
Member DeShane?
Yes.
The chair votes yes, so the agenda is approved. And next we'll move on to corrections, approval, and ratification of minutes from February 15th, 2023, of which I looked over, and I have no comments or corrections.
I move for approval of the minutes as submitted. Support.
All right, and that is a motion to approve from Member DeShane, supported by Member Koenig. And Member Koenig, your vote?
Yes.
Member DeShane?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, so the minutes are approved. We will move on. Actually, we will skip over communications because all the communications have to do with the case that has been postponed. So ZBA case number 2301 tonight has been postponed to our May meeting due to a lack of full board. That was the decision of the applicant. So due to no unfinished business, we will move directly on to ZBA case number 23-03, 2292 Lake Lansing Road, Susan Lux and Edward Clayton at the same address, 2292 Lake Lansing Road, East Lansing, Michigan, 48823. Mr. Chapman, go for it. All the way down.
Okay, so the applicant has requested variances to construct a 400 square foot or accessory structure in their front yard setback. The property is approximately 2.9 acres in size and is zoned RR rural residential. In 2018, there was a variance granted to allow the construction of a deck slash porch, which is entirely located within the 100-foot front yard setback on Lake Lansing. The submitted site plan shows the existing 2,564 square foot single family house that was built in 1900 and the proposed carport. So the ordinance requires a 100-foot front yard setback for principal arterial roads, which is Lake Lansing in this case. The proposed carport will be located entirely within that front yard setback. At its closest point, that carport will be 62 feet from the center line of Lake Lansing Road right away, so a variance of 38 feet is requested. Also, section 86565 states no accessory building can project into the front yard. And because this property is a corner lot, they technically have two front yards, one on Lake Lansing and one on Newton Road. And in this case, the carport is proposed to be located in the front yard on Newton Road. So this carport is approximately 22 feet in front of the house, but in total, because of the size, will project 42 feet into that front yard. So a variance of 42 feet is requested. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chapman. Would the applicant or the applicant's representative like to come up and speak any further on the case? And if you would like to just state your name and address for the public record, that'd be great.
Hi there, my name is Liz Harrow. I live at 1147 Daisy Lane. And I was the architect who drew up the porch a few years ago and then drew up this carport. And I think you can see from the drawing that the site is, and the photograph also, you can see that this site is almost hidden from the road by trees and foliage. It's a really beautiful site. And all that they're asking for is a small shelter to cover the cars from snow and rain and to let them scurry out of the house into, also to help when family arrives. Again, that dark line is the line of the carport. The other area is paved or gravelled areas of driveway. And so they would park their cars under there and then head across to the house. I think you can see where there's a little gable. That's where the entrance to the house is. It's behind, it's true inside the setback, but it's behind the line, not just of the porch that got built, but of the original house. It's further north than the original house line. So it seems like a completely reasonable request and compatible with the existence of the house. Right.
All right. Thank you so much. And can you tell me your name one more time?
Oh, Liz Harrow, Harrow.
Harrow, great.
Yeah,
Thank you
okay.
so much. All right, Liz, thank you for that. Would anybody else like to speak on this? Yeah, if you want to stay there or close by, because since it's just a few of us here, is there anything you'd like to add on this case tonight? If not, that's okay too. We can let Liz handle it.
We just are trying to make our properties.
Come on over.
Sorry.
That's okay. Just name and address for the public record, please, ma'am.
Susan Lux, 2292 East Lake Lansing Road, East Lansing. So the reason we'd really like to build the carport is a safety issue for us as we age. We're watching my elderly parents and how difficult it is when you don't plan. And so we're trying to make it easier for us as we get older. So.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being here. And Ms. Harrow, if you want to come right up to the microphone, we're going to get right into our board time here since there's no one else here. I will go ahead and close public comment and get into board time. I did have a question, and this is more, I guess when we speak to like the minimum action, is there a reason the carport is not closer to the house? Is it because of the size, or is it because of what
Well,
is?
that actually works really well for having the house. There's a flat area there that works pretty well. Then there's one space to the side where if their mother arrived in a car, they would let her out. There, you can see that that's the beginning of a kind of ramp that goes up to the south. And so that felt like the best location. It also, that's the main reason. Susan might have another reason why we wanted it there, that it just felt like we were able to block, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just was curious because I know from my recollection from that case that we approved was regarding accessibility.
Accessibility.
And I was just curious because it seemed, as we talk about minimum action, it's a larger structure, which looks like maybe it'll fit 2 cars.
Yeah,
Right.
2 cars.
Right.
And then with that extra, it almost looks like a third car space that's
It is a
available
third.
that's not covered. So my curiosity is, yeah, Keith.
So our ordinance for detached accessory structures
Yeah.
requires 10 feet
Okay,
from the principal structure.
okay.
So in this
So they're
case-
counting the porch as principal structure?
Yeah, so
Okay,
I-
so
Oh, I
it's 10
see.
feet from porch.
Right, that's a
Yeah.
good point,
It
yeah.
still would be 10 feet, but it gives you room to unload somebody
Okay.
with a wheelchair and.
And so forth.
I just want to make sure that we're
That's a
talking
good
about
point, yeah.
minimums, and thank you, Keith, for that additional, that helps and pretty much answers my questions. Anybody else?
But I really would point out that the 100-foot setback is, it's based on the notion that we would widen the road someday, right? And widening the road would involve eliminating the house, so
Right.
it doesn't seem like a likely plan.
I think, again, this was a conversation that I can remember from the last time, and that since the house is existing, I can very certainly make the unique circumstances for this location. But I will certainly pass it over to either of my fellow board members if you have any questions. Yes, Member Koenig, go ahead.
2 quick questions and a comment for you. So, thank you for coming. First question, is there a garage or a carport currently on the property?
No, there's
Nothing,
not.
okay.
There is a shed behind the building where they store some stuff, right?
Okay, I kind of figured. And the second question is kind of going along with what Chair Mansour said, that is there any chance or reason why the carport wasn't pushed back farther? I'm not talking about outside of the
Yeah,
100
there
feet,
is-
because
there is
you'd be
actually
down
a-
by the water, essentially.
Yeah,
that
no,
way.
there's a decline. It does sort of drop down, and there's a vegetable garden behind, but pretty much that's the last of the flat land.
space.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay, so
In fact,
the land
then-
does slope down
Yes, right.
toward that wetland or that water area?
Right.
Okay. I could just quickly say, when I reviewed this, I wanted those 2 answers, but I kind of figured that was going to be the answers. I personally don't have a problem, as you said, with this. The house is old. House doesn't have a garage, regardless of whether it predates the zoning code or not. You, as any other person, is entitled to a garage or some sort of
Right.
structure to be able to park your vehicles. I do understand that if you did try to not have a variance with this and push this outside at a minimum 100 feet, you'd be down under the trees, and it would be very
Right.
difficult for you to walk up and down that hill.
And to pave it, right, yeah.
Right, I mean, the
exactly.
house is already, let's say, for lack of a better term, non-conforming to that front yard setback. 100
Right.
feet is pretty abnormal for what I've
Right.
learned in my planning background. Typically, it's
Right.
about 20, 25 feet. 100 feet's just a special situation for this
Right.
road.
Yep.
So there's probably some sort of variance you would have to request regardless of what it is. I think where you've placed this is probably one of your best options based on the sloping of the land and closeness to the house without being within that minimum 10 feet, as Mr. Chapman had said. So I would be, after we go through the 5 criteria that is, I would probably be willing to support this.
All right,
That is it, Mr. Chair.
thank you very much. Anything to add, Member DeShane?
Just a question for Keith. So the setback rule would prohibit the house from being built anywhere close to where it is now. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the 100-foot setback goes through approximately right where this cursor is. So like 90% of the house is in that setback. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. All right, on that note, I think I'm going to go ahead and read criteria. Criteria number 1 is unique circumstances exist that are peculiar to the land or structure that are not applicable to other land or structures in the same zoning district, and these unique circumstances are not self-created. And I think the applicant did an excellent job answering that in the packet. And as we just, spoke to, that 90% of the house being in the setback already, that we're already looking at, this is a very unique circumstance. And with the lay of the land and other things that we've discussed, I can very well meet that criteria. Criteria 2, strict interpretation and enforcement of the literal terms and provisions of this chapter would result in practical difficulties that would prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose. I think Member Koenig touched on that one. It would be impossible to build this in any other location. And I do see and understand the practical difficulties, whether it's safety, like you've made an excellent point of saying about aging in place and just making it an accessible and usable structure and property. I can very easily meet that practical difficulties portion of that criteria. Criteria number 3 would be granting the variance as the minimum action necessary, which would carry out the spirit of the zoning ordinance, secure public safety, and provide substantial justice. Again, I find it very easy to meet this under the public safety and substantial justice portion, just in noting that, that we went through this last time with the ramp and making the home more accessible. I think that this will just improve the home and give you the peace of mind to be able to be safe and have your home be accessible.
And another way that would some minimum is that it's a carport and not a garage.
I would definitely agree with
Right,
that.
it's an
Ms.
open,
Ms.
an
Harrell,
open
thank you.
carport, right?
Yeah, I would like to say, I did think that when I read the packet, that, you know, how thoughtful it was that it is a carport. We're looking at a structure, not another building, another accessory building, and that it is as minimum as it could be, and to fit 2 cars, and, yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. And criteria number 4, granting the variance will not adversely affect adjacent land or the essential character in the vicinity of the property. I think as it's been pointed out before, and I know I drove past it yesterday, I could not see the driveway. So, and it's winter still, right?
No, it's very bad.
And I think that this will only improve that your property in and of itself, but certainly does not do any harm to the properties around. I do, again, remember that corner lot. As soon as I drove past, I went, yep, I remember this. I remember it. Because it is a very unique area that, you know, you're kind of tucked back in there. I would not have any doubt that this would improve the essential character of the vicinity of the property. And criteria number 5, granting the variance will be generally consistent with public interest and the purposes and intent of this chapter. I do understand, as we said, about expanding the road and things and the reasoning for those setbacks. However, since this property is such an old home that you're working with, I do think that this is within the public interest to allow you to upgrade and modernize in a way that's for your safety and for longevity in the property. So with that said, I can meet all 5 criteria. Anyone have anything else to add? All right.
I do have a question for Keith.
Yes, member.
I hear from the property owners at 2310 Lake Lansing Road, people immediately to the west of this property.
No, I didn't hear from any.
They were notified though, correct?
Yeah, everybody within 300 feet gets notified, yes.
Thank you.
All right. In that case, I will move to approve ZBA case number, let me get back up there. Oh, making it easy, 23-03, 2292 Lake Lansing, Susan Lux and Edward Clayton.
Support?
All right. Any discussion on the motion to approve? If not, I'm going to go ahead and go for a vote. This is a motion to approve. Member Koenig?
Yes.
Member DeShane?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So your
Thanks very
variance has been
much.
approved.
Thanks very much.
Good luck to you. All right. Well, as we said at the beginning of the meeting, since we do not have our other member at large here tonight, Member Field Foster, we will be skipping the election of 2023 officers and move right directly into public remarks. Does anybody have anything to add? Any public remarks? All right. I'm going to close public remarks and go to board member comments. Any board member comments tonight to share?
Since you were here you were not here the previous time we discussed this, are you willing to serve again as chair?
I am, absolutely.
That
Yep.
solved the question.
I am enjoying my time, my gavel and my 3-minute timer. So, yes.
And do an excellent job at it as well. So
Thank you so much.
Half of that solved.
Yes, we just need to double check that Member Field Foster is ready to serve as my VP again. So hopefully we'll all be together for April.
Yes.
And I would just, my only comment would be that we need alternate members. So if anybody out there watching would like to serve in the Zoning Board of Appeals for Meridian Township, please submit an application. It is very simple, I promise. And we need alternate members desperately, because if members are out, we'd love to be able to fill these board seats and have applicants be heard with a full board. So, that said, I would like to conclude tonight's meeting, and we are officially adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Good luck to you on your